going on, Mr. Pittman?
All right, things are going good this evening.
That's what I like to hear. Man. It's been hectic. I didn't get to holler at you on it. Well, I did talk to you yesterday, but shoot, I had to go get some of that bread. So we didn't really get to catch up. But I just wanted to go back into fan mode real quick, and we're gonna go back to our bread and butter. That Naoya Inoue and Fulton. I think you're gonna really enjoy this one. I'm not gonna lay that on you yet. I gotta get some information out of you. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get some information out of you, cause this is the pulse of boxing, and your perspective is needed. Cause sometimes I'm not in content creator mode. When I am, man, the message might just be whatever I feel like. You know what I'm saying is going on or what need to be said. Cause I be doing a lot of like journalism and stuff, but I go back into fan mode and I ask you some things, and sometimes you spin me around or you give me that different perspective, and I learn. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I wanted to ask you about a couple things, man. I think the most burning one is your perspective on the Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez instead of like Maul. Because I initially thought it was Mob, early run. That's why I like to sit back and wait and let things unfold. I didn't do anything, but that was the early rumblings. But then when it came out that it was Charlo, the 154, against the undisputed champ at 168, Canelo Alvarez, what were you thinking?
Well, it took me by surprise. When I first heard it, I was shocked. Because I thought the fight that Canelo would take would be with Jamal, the brother that's a little bigger. With Jamal being at the junior middleweight division, if he fights Canelo at 168, he's moving up 2 weight classes to fight him. I don't know if I'm really satisfied with him doing that. If Canelo was going to drop down and fight him at the middleweight division, a catchweight, then I would be more in tune with that. But for him to have to move up 2 weight classes somewhere where he's never been before, I'm quite sure he's confident, his team is confident. But sometimes when you step up too far, it creates a problem for you. I'm going to give you an example. Mattel Brook moved up 2 weight classes to fight Triple G at middleweight. You could see during that fight, he made a big mistake. He wasn't capable of standing up to the type of pressure that a middleweight could put on him, and he wasn't able to deliver the type of consistency needed to take down a middleweight. Jamel is a good boxer, he's a good fighter. I don't know if the extra weight will hinder his performance. Will he be as sharp? Will he have the stamina? Will he be able to fight during the championship rounds the way we used to seeing him fight, carrying this extra weight? So, it's going to be a challenge for him, but I'm looking forward to see how he fares against Canelo, but I was just shocked to hear that they would be fighting, and especially at 168.
Yeah, I think that the biggest part of it for me is the absolute no compromise on Canelo, like to not budge from 68, because if you were that adamant about fighting at 68, then how come when Bivol, who's 1 weight class above you, wants to rematch you down there where you have everything to lose and not just him putting up his, you don't do that. But you bringing Mel up. Now, I don't have I'm looking at it like the glass is half full. I'm going to put it like that. I'm looking at it like that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when Mikey Garcia came up, who he really went up 1 weight class for Earl Spence, it was humongous channel saying, "Oh man, nah, man, come on, man, y'all can't, man, we not doing that." Like, and a lot of people fell out with Earl over that. But they was saying Mikey, his whole community got behind him and said he was daring to be great. You know what I'm saying? Up until that point, Mikey, it was whispers of Mikey, is he a Hall of Famer, is he not? You know, when you look at his resume, you know, the multiple divisions, the names that he fought, because he didn't got in there with Adrian Broner. He done did all that, you know what I'm saying? I think that their community got behind him and said he's daring to be great. I think the Kell Brook example was sorry, because I think Eddie he was doing all right, but I think back then I think that was Eddie Hearn. He did a favor for Eddie Hearn. He basically fed him up there to Triple G. So you know that's why I was so upset when before the Bud fight with Kell Brook, he didn't have his trainer. You know what I'm saying? Eddie was not, you know, he wasn't behind it. Like, he was hung out to dry. He was out there after not having fought there. But that's the history between them when they were daring to be great. Mikey was daring to be great against Errol Spence, albeit one weight class. Kell Brook, 2 weight classes to Triple G. He was boxing Triple G very well, but it came down to his punch resistance. It was clear when Triple G got warmed up. You know, when he was as active as he is, man, it just got brutal, you know. So, my thing is this. For me, I'm more happy for Jamel because I said that he was one of the most disrespected. And if he feels, because this is just like when we said, you know what, Fulton, when it came to Fulton was like, he wasn't like, do you want to fight? He was like, where at? Oh, okay, over there? All right, okay, cool. Fight, you know what I'm saying? It's on. So that same energy, Jamel is daring to be great. You know, I think that when you look at the fact that they started off and in stature, Jamel is taller and longer in stature. It's not like it's a physical difference with Triple G and Kell Brook, but Jamel is actually taller and longer than Canelo. And if he was to put on the weight, he's actually the bigger man. Canelo just has fought at that weight. Now, with that being said, to your point, my biggest concern is that we don't know how he fights at 68. You know, we don't know how that weight is how he's gonna deal with that weight. Because in one breath, like with Inoue, we learned his real weight, and so we realized that okay, he's not gonna be cutting as much, so he's not draining as much, so he might be more stronger because he's fighting, because he's, you know, he was cutting a nice little bit of weight to get down to where he was at, so he don't have to cut that much no more. So I'm looking at it like that. So I'm situating the positives, and I'm looking at it from the aspect of Jamel has been on record saying, man, that he had wanted Floyd. You know, and Floyd had his Canelo moment, even though it was supposed to be a pass under the torch, even though it's like Canelo got the torch, but he lost the fight. I don't know how that happened, but he got dominated, completely shut out, and he had that moment. This is Jermell Charlo's moment to prove himself. He's daring to be great. You know, I've never heard of him having a gas tank issue. Never really seen it because Jermell has a gas tank. Sometimes Derrick James had to tell him to calm down. He got a gas tank, so not really worried about it other than him moving up in the weight. So that's my perspective, and I think that it's something that it was totally unexpected, but it might be boxing fixing itself because people are still arguing whether Canelo's in the top 4 pound for pound, and they still not even putting Jermell on there. If Jermell go in there, and I'm not even saying he gotta knock him out, but we already know what kind of fighter Jermell is. If he hurts you, his suddenness is over. You know, if he catch you slipping, he gonna pull the trigger. But this is his opportunity to daring to be great, and if he pull this off, man. We talked about the winner of Fulton and Inoue, you know, where they would be pound for pound, you know, number 1, depending on Spence and Bud. But he would put himself, because he's already up there on mine. I got Jermell up there on mine. So, already. I'm thinking he's daring to be great.
If he is to pull this off, he's got to be recognized honestly credit you being pound for pound an outstanding boxer if you can get in there and beat Canelo and you moving up on from 2 weight classes down. That would have to be recognized as a tremendous feat.
Yeah, and I mean, and see, this could only now Canelo don't win. This could only utterly backfire. Now we're gonna see if his only fans, not people just as like him and what he brings to the table outside of his indiscretion, not those, but his only fans. They not going to acknowledge this. But look, the fact that he's pulling them up there, and there was no wiggle room, no negotiation, no nothing. You come up there, Jamel will get all of those belts, and man, what a blemish. That's why I say it's the age well games. Canelo was in my age well games. Everybody saying Tim Bradley came out on record and said it's just a mismatch. I'm like, man, and they were talking about the bigger fighter. I'm like, man, you all realize that Charlo is really bigger than Canelo. Like, he has to cut down to make that weight. He don't hover around. He stays within cutting weight. Like, he lives a boxer's lifestyle. That's the part of Jamel where he's training. He's staying in shape. Like, he don't play around no more. It's like a button click, and he don't play. So you realize that he's cutting less weight. So some of the points, they kind of go in one ear and out the other ear, because sometimes when you get on the topic of Canelo, you thinking it's somebody that can actually part the Red Sea or walk on water. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of put my earmuffs on. But that was a big announcement that was up. We got this weekend. We got Boots and Villa, and we got the brutality, the Mortal Kombat of Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Amante Stanionis. Boots and Villa. Run that down for me real quick.
Well, right now I have to stay with Boots. Until somebody can get in there and actually put Boots through the test, he's just shown himself to be a tremendous fighter and a guy that's going to be very difficult to beat. And he's well on his way to being a champion. So even though Villa showed good against Rashidi, I think Boots is going to be a different combatant. His power, his ability to fight, to go both ways. It's going to be a difficult fight for Villa. I think Boots should win this fight, and he may win it by a stoppage. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm a pin that right there. But let me ask you this, because I've been hearing a lot, and it's like, you know, people go back and they be revising history. That's why I like to put the stats out and all that. But when you watch that Quran fight with Boots, what was your perspective on the Quran guy?
Okay, Quran was a good boxer. Well, I'm going to say his footwork is what carried him throughout that fight. I mean, he constantly moved, he was in shape, but his fighting ability to actually get in there and win rounds, he was not doing that. That fight was a lopsided fight, only because Ennis wasn't able to clock him, hurt him, and get him out of there. Quran, he used his movement, he just kept surviving, but he was so far behind on points that he would have needed a knockout to win that fight. And based upon the way he was fighting, he was not fight on his feet. The fight just appeared to be a mismatch where he did not want to really get into a firefight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you felt like he was in there surviving basically.
He wasn't winning rounds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean that's.
When you look at the scorecard, he was far behind. So it's not like he made that fight interesting. He literally survived and didn't get knocked out. But he was far behind. It wasn't even close. Well, it wasn't close to me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, okay. So, Romain Villa, we had Speedy Rashidi winning that fight. We had him winning that fight, but he dropped Speedy, I think twice in the end. He dropped him twice, and he put the exclamation mark on that fight. But he's basically saying he's not gonna be doing the Quran, Juka John. He's gonna be in there. He's gonna be in there, I guess, trying to. I think he's leading everybody on to believe that he's gonna go in there looking for a firefight with Boots.
I tell you what, if he do, that's gonna make for a good fight, at least until somebody begins to enforce their will on the other. If he comes in, if he fights the type of fight that he's proclaiming, we're gonna see a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight, and who's ever in the best condition, and who's ever ready to sustain those championship rounds will be the winner of this fight. Speedy Rashidi, he just lacked the stamina to be able to finish that fight throughout the championship rounds, at least the last 3 rounds. He was constantly fading towards that part of the fight, and ultimately it showed. And if this would have been a fight that had taken place maybe 20 years ago, where a championship fight was a 15-round fight, it's no way he could have went 15 rounds. His conditioning wasn't going to allow him. So he faded, and when he faded, it gave Vila everything he needed to take that victory away from him. Even though Rashidi got out to a head start, but he was not able to sustain it throughout the latter part of the fight, and that's where Vila stole it from him.
Yep. It's definitely not gonna be. I don't think Boots. I was asking myself, man, which one of these? Because we always talk about athleticism in boxing, and athleticism, IQ. I was like, man, which one of these boxers could probably dunk? And I'm pretty sure Boots can dunk. But when I look at it, Boots got this. It's not a, well, you can call it an uppercut, but it's almost like a jab because he throw it underneath, but he throw it with his left hand, but the extension, like the range on that shot, I was like, man, that might be one of the most beautiful punches. I don't even know what to call it. It's like a shovel. It's not a hook, but it's like an uppercut, but he throw it from the orthodox stance, man. He can cover so much range. Man, if that dude, we gonna find out if Vila got a chin or if it's gamesmanship with him saying that he ain't running. He basically saying, I ain't running, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in there. So I'm thinking, man, he looking for that kill shot. I think we're gonna get to see how fast Boots adapt, and we're gonna see if Vila can take a punch. We definitely, because Boots will let his hands go. He might do some Mortal Kombat 15 combination type deal, but we're gonna see, because once again he under the big bright lights, and sometimes the big bright lights kinda, until you get used to them, until you get used to all them eyeballs like that at that level, sometimes you gotta shake it off. It happens to people in the league too. But the key segue is gamesmanship. Talking about Inoue and Fulton. Want to get to that and pick your brain, because the chess, people don't realize that the chess game has already begun between them two, and you have that Stephen Fulton energy. Like, he wasn't like, hey man, am I gonna fight? He was like, where at? Okay, Japan, alright, I'm there. And so he was saying that Inoue is like, he overhyped, he gonna expose him, stuff like that. I'm better than him. Inoue's approach was a little different. He said he respects Stephen Fulton for his strength, not to be confused with power, for his strength and for his ability to close the distance. So I'm like, is a little bit of that, is that gamesmanship? Cause like, that's like that taking the high road almost, right? It's like, cause he ain't, I guess that culture, that culture is about business. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't get into the whole, the rah of it. You know what I'm saying? That culture, if you understand that culture, they're about strictly business. And I think that means that is Inoue taking the strictly business approach. Is that gamesmanship, or what? What you think about what he said, what he cited as what he respected about Fulton?
Okay, what it sounds like to me is that Inoue and his team is doing their homework. Okay, when you take on a fighter that's a champion, you not only have to look at what you think that this fighter's weakness might be, okay, but you also have to take a look at what his strengths are and make sure you don't fall victim to running into a head-end crash, okay? So by Inoue making those statements, he's doing his homework, indicating that, okay, this guy got some ability, he's able to do this, he's able to do that. I have to do my homework to make sure I can take that away from him. So therefore, whatever weakness he think he can exploit, you gotta exploit your opponent's weakness, and you gotta exploit their strengths. So therefore, it sounds to me like he's taking a good look at this guy and gonna come up with all the attributes that he needs in order to take him on and to defeat him. And to me, he's not being overconfident. He's just doing his homework, deciding what he's got to do to pick this guy apart. Because he does realize that this guy being a champion, he does have some quality. So therefore, you just can't take him for granted. You have to look at his strengths and his weakness, and then you have to apply your pressure in order to maneuver yourself to be able to defeat him at what he does best and what he does not do so well. So I think his comments is what a good champion would say coming into a fight against another champion.
Yeah, I thought it was, man, I respected it, you know. I definitely respect what he said. It's because, you know, in the art of war, you gotta know thyself, and then secondly, know thy enemy. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know, that's why it be surprising me sometimes. I gotta count it as, you know, mental warfare sometimes with how, you know, certain boxers say certain things about other fighters, and I'm like, man, that gotta be gamesmanship. Because have you seen him? Because like some of the things that was said about Bivol and how they were looking, I said, man, are they serious? Like, and then it showed, you know, and I'm like, okay, so some of it gotta be gamesmanship, but it surprised me when these boxers don't really know, or they downplay what the other guy does best. And if that's true, if Inoue really believes that, then I guess he's gonna make Fulton go to his plan B, because he said he respects his strength, not power, which means he's strong. He know he's sturdy, he's solid, and his ability to close distance.
Yeah, so you know, it sounds to me that he's approaching this
Fulton, he gonna have to give anyway a steady diet of the jab. He's gonna have to give anyway a steady diet of the jab. But that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? So I wanna, man, that's almost like making an adjustment before the fight even happened. Like when you know that, so you already know. Okay, I'm not gonna let him just be able to dart in, dart out on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let him lean on me or try to deplete me or clinch and hold and grab. You know what I'm saying? It's like knowing that it's like he's preparing. He might be preparing to use them feet a little bit more in attack. You know, so it's just a good build up because it's getting closer and closer. I think it's like less than it's like less than 20 some, about 20 some days away.
Yeah, yes it is.
So I thought that was interesting. I thought I'd run that by you. Only thing we really didn't cover was the Stanionis and Virgil, and when I did the numbers, they almost like CompuBox twins. You know, I think Virgil's output is a little bit more. He's a little bit taller, and we know that weight-wise, we don't know as far as cutting the weight or what's happening because of that rhabdomyolysis, because it affects your kidneys. And this is the second bout where they cited that's why the fight got pushed back and all that. So I looked at it like, man, Monte Stanionis, he had an appendectomy, had his appendix taken, but he been recovering. He been training and waiting, taking step aside for, to let the Crawford Spencer try to let that happen. He been waiting there. It's for the WBA regular title. And what I saw Stanionis do against that guy Butayev, and looking at his resume, because I'm not going to say that you know everybody on there, but looking back at what he's able to do and how this fight lines up, these guys are not going to be in there dancing around. You know, I definitely don't think this one, because we looking at, if you dealing with something that's going on with your kidneys, both of these guys are, I think Virgil, he's probably like the second most aggressive going to the body. Then I think he's more aggressive, but like I said before, I think Earl is a little bit more polished. And it's a young boy, Jaleel Hackett, that he can walk down on you, and while he walking down on you, hit you with it, like, and it hurts. Like, that dude, that's the young boy I'm saying is creeping up that ain't nobody really knowing about. But back to this fight, they are two aggressive body punchers, but they're both fairly polished. I think that Virgil, he's more liable to put more mustard on anything. But I think Stanionis is so interesting because I think Stanionis, I don't think he's as physically gifted as Virgil, but I think he's more concise with his punches. So he could catch him in between. It's just a coin toss, man, with this fight. But I don't think nobody gonna want to get up out their seats and go get no popcorn or nothing when that one come on.
I agree with you. This is gonna be a good fight. These combatants seem to be evenly matched in ability, and this is going to be a showdown. This will definitely be a showdown, and I think this is going to be an entertaining bout, and I think the boxing fans is going to enjoy this. I really do.
Yeah, it's a lot of boxing going on. And I'm sure we'll touch bases between now and then, but it's a lot of boxing going on Saturday, man. It's like it's a big weekend. Like, it's a lot of different fights going on. And shoot, with the two TVs now, we don't gotta worry about having a laptop up on one and then pulling one up. Now, shoot, the two TVs, you just gonna have to have your head on the swivel now. You know, 'cause we're gonna be able to watch them all at one time.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we're gonna get the menu together and see what's good, or see how we gonna do that. And I might shoot, it's about to be Thursday, I might hit you up, man, between now and then. I probably definitely gonna hit you up between now and then. I don't know if we're gonna do another segment, but if something pop up, I'm gonna hit you with it.
Definitely, and I'm looking forward to it.
Alright then, well, enjoy your evening and relax. Hit me up on that chessboard a little later.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. We definitely can do that.
Alright then, take it easy.
Okay, Mike.
Alright, peace. Yep, that was my old head K. We was in there talking that boxing, man. We did a little bit about the state of boxing, some of the philosophies, You see, I sometimes, he could talk me down off the ledge. I didn't want to talk about the big elephant in the room, out of respect for where that one might go. But ultimately, we discussed the gamesmanship of Naoya Inoue and Stephen Fulton and the two different approaches leading up to the build-up of this fight. Anyways, man, thanks for all the support, man. Thanks for each and every one of y'all that comment. You see, I'm not shy whenever you want to talk boxing or got something for me to look at or some homework to do. I'm open, man. I'm this segment right here gets my core audience. People who listen and chime in. I got people from all different places, everywhere who are like really about boxing, like really like talking them X's and O's and having listening to dialogue and engaging about factual things. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate all the new growth and the support. I don't take it lightly. I'm very appreciative because on this channel I build brick by brick. Anyways, I ain't gonna talk your head off. Thanks for tuning in. Here at Bodywork Boxing, when we don't take things for face value, we do that.